Hey y'all, it's Erin Stern. You guessed it, it's that time again, fitness Q&A video. The first question comes from Hannah. She asks, how do I add food and calories back in the correct way after a competition to avoid binge eating and remaining in a caloric deficit? Well, Hannah, there are a few things to consider as you're going into a competition. The week of, you're going to be depleting, so you're cutting carbs, you're cutting sodium, and you may cut water. So that accounts for a few pounds right there. So I want you to do me a big favor and hide the scale the week after your competition, and know that you're going to put on a few pounds because your body needs that weight. It needs the water, it needs the carbs, it needs to continue to function. So the first few pounds is normal and that's necessary. That being said, most people have a cheat meal after competition, and it's usually full of sodium and full of things that you wouldn't normally eat on your pre-contest diet. So you will be holding a few pounds of water based on that meal. So I would recommend hitting the gym on Monday or Tuesday and just doing some light cardio, and don't quit exercising cold turkey. Don't take a week off from the gym. That's probably the worst thing you can do. So just ease out of your two-a-days or your morning cardio sessions if that's what you're doing, and then gradually add those foods back in. And it's going to take you about a week for your body to reach equilibrium. So be easy on yourself, continue to train, and just do things in moderation. And also stay close to contest weight in your off season. That way you're not depriving yourself and dieting for 16 weeks, because that's a recipe for binging afterwards too. So hopefully that helps. The next question comes from John. He asks, how strict are you with your food choices, and what is the latest that you'll eat at night? In the off season, I'm not as strict with my food choices. However, I tend to stay towards whole, unprocessed foods. So I may eat more fruit, and I may eat larger portions. I may grill a big steak, but it's all relatively clean. With the exception of like a frozen yogurt every once in a while, or the things that I really like to have. And the latest that I'll eat at night, if I'm not competing, and say I've had a late leg workout at the gym, I'll go ahead and I'll have an apple, or I'll have some carbs along with protein, and I always treat my body like I'm an athlete and I want to train for performance and take care of myself. So if I'm hungry and it's 10 o'clock at night, I will eat, especially right after a workout again. The next question comes from Claire. She asks, I seem to get in a vicious cycle with my legs. I train them hard and they stay so sore that it affects my cardio sessions. And then, since I do cardio when my legs are sore anyway, by the time I want to train them again, they aren't ready. Any advice? And how do you feel about training a muscle group that's still sore? Okay, Claire. There was a time that I was training legs twice a week. I was trying to hit the track twice a week, and still managed to fit in plyometrics. Needless to say, I was sore pretty much all the time, and I think I got to the point of overtraining. So it may be time to just focus on more quality and really look at what your goals are. Is it to get leaner? Is it to build size in your legs? How are you splitting up your workouts? For example, you may do legs on Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday you might do like a little bit longer duration cardio, or something a little bit more low intensity, or maybe an upper body circuit to where you're burning the same calories that you would with cardio and keeping your heart rate up. So really look at your split and give yourself 48 to 72 hours to recover. And that's the most important thing, is making sure you're taking that one day off a week, 1 to 2 days off, and give your body time to rest, because that's when you see the improvements, is when you allow your body to recover and rebuild from the damage that you do at the gym. The next question comes from Kim. She asks, I just tore my hamstring. Who or what are your sources of motivation or inspiration when you experience a setback? Well, Kim, we've all been there. Last year, I sprained my ankle really badly, and I was unable to sprint. And for a couple of weeks, I was really upset about that, and it forced me to train in a different way than I would normally train, and I actually experienced a lot of improvements in my physique just based on having that injury. So I think it's all a matter of how you look at it, and look at, okay, well, you tore your hamstring, maybe your upper body needs work, and really focus on that. Also, write down your goals and what you plan to accomplish after you get over your injury, and somehow having that hope and knowing that you'll get back to 100% and being able to train is kind of enough to keep you going. And as far as books or quotes, I've been listening to Brian Tracy and The Psychology of Achievement, and I really like his point of view and how you can train your mind to think positively and keep your outlook good, and maybe get some motivational tapes. I know it sounds cheesy, and sometimes when I'm listening to my iPod, that's what I'm listening to. It's not Static X or heavy metal. It's some guy talking about changing your outlook on things. So give it a try, and I hope you get better soon. The next question comes from Kyle and Brittany. They ask, do you keep a lifting journal so that week by week you can keep track of the weight and reps you do? I've been concentrating on lifting heavier, and I'm thinking of starting one. Well, that's a great question, and I typically don't keep a detailed journal. However, through the videos, and I will keep a log every now and then of workouts that I do. I know approximately how much weight I do, but I do recommend keeping that journal because you'll look back on it and you'll rediscover exercises that maybe you've forgotten over time, and you'll see how much you've achieved. And especially if you're just starting out, I would definitely keep that journal and take your progress pictures and keep track that way, because the memory, if you haven't been lifting for a while, it's hard to remember everything. So yeah, do that, and then I recommend getting books and going online and reading and expanding your knowledge that way too. So that's it for this week. Until next week, train hard, y'all.